So just a bit of a forward. This session was meant to be with our client attending from Westfield as well, so it wasn't just a big software plug. It's not a software plug, it's actually going into the Westfield London case study directly. So I'll go into that now. That works. Okay, so just for those who aren't aware of Zutec, Zutec's been around for almost 20 years. We provide software and managed services to the construction and engineering industry. Basically, what we call the Zutec Cloud Platform is an online project data management platform that has kind of both web-based and tablet-based solutions in order to define, capture, manage data throughout the various stages and life cycle stages of a construction project onto handover. For a small little Irish company, we've done quite well over the years, and we've got to work on some really large mega projects around the globe. Some of those include the Shard building, large airports, very large hospital projects kind of globally. I worked in the Australian Zutec office before I moved to sunny little Ireland 3 years ago. So this is the part where Lucas was meant to talk about Westfield, but unfortunately I'll have to try and do his part for him. So just a little bit, so Westfield was recently bought over by Unibel Redemco, and they wanted to keep the name, so now they're referred as URW or Unibel Redemco Westfield. Basically, they're valued at a 62 billion kind of size. And there's lots of different things going on that I don't really know that much of, so we'll pretend we know that one, but we do know Westfield London Phase 2. So that's the most recent project that we've been working on. It's a £600 million project, 740,000 square feet of retail, 150 packages, work packages. For those in the construction world, you know that 150 work packages is a lot of subcontractors and supply chain members, etc. At the end of the project, there was about 567 BIM models produced. And within the Zutec platform and other sources, there's been 226,840 lines of structured data. So now it's going back to Daniel's turn. So just a little bit, so Westfield has been a client of ours for over 10 years. We were originally procured on Westfield London Phase 1 and the White City rail network underneath that. So basically, we were procured to manage their handover and completion process, so working as part of the Westfield design and construction team. And so in 2007, when we were originally procured, we actually procured in 2006 for the White City Rail. That was the first thing happening. Then in 2008, Westfield Shopping Centre opened. So then our platform was handed over to the Centre Management or Operations team to be able to access all of their operation and maintenance manual information, commissioning information, asset data, etc. So they've been a continual kind of client for ours over a number of years. And also they were managing all of their retail fit outs. So we did all the shell and core information within the Zutec platform, and then they made it a requirement that any of the retail tenants joining Westfield had to submit their operation and maintenance manuals and information onto the platform as well, so that they could keep an entire source of truth for the facility ongoingly. Then in 2017, they approached us back again, so the Westfield design and construction team. So we kind of lost track of those guys. They were working on other projects, but we still had a lot of talking and things with the centre management team. But Westfield D&C came to us for Westfield Phase 2 retail. So basically that was the £600 million extension to existing Phase 1. Basically on that project, it wasn't just an extension to the retail. They were actually building a big office block next to it, and they were building a large residential scheme as well. So with that in mind, is the centre management team were using the platform obviously almost on a daily basis to access their information. But Westfield D&C, the design and construction team, kind of, this BIM, we're in the new BIM kind of world. So as much as collectively we both look at BIM as being building information management, models are just a kind of supplement to that information. we really kind of wanted to engage back with the center management team. So when you've got Westfield owning the design and construction and owning the center management team, kind of having those guys working together up front so that the center management team was defining what would be beneficial for them in a BIM world, in a 3D model world, so that they can access their information. So we did a lot of kind of consultancy workshops. I was heading up that with the Westfield DNC and the center management team, so that at the end it wasn't just a kind of interactive folder structure, which is what they've been used to, but they could also access it through a 3D model. So interestingly enough, so this is kind of the 3D model view and a lot of the models and things that Lucas would talk more about. But basically, we worked very hard. They kind of pushed the limits of what our platform could do, but it was good with having kind of such an existing, long-standing relationship with our clients. We built kind of this interface and made it easier for them to interact and upload the models. So when it came to the BIM model side of things, they were actually doing all the BIM model updates themselves and lodging them on the system. There wasn't any kind of interaction from Zutec personnel. We were on that project working on alongside them too, but we were managing the handover. So ensuring those 150 different supply chain contractors were submitting their information, and we'd savvily check that information as well. So I guess, again, this would have been a Lucas slide, apologies. So how he went about developing the model. So getting a brief, as in the asset information requirements from the center management team, then working with the supply chain to ensure that they were handing over those models and it had all the attributes and information that they had asked for. It was then being pumped into Zutec from a model perspective to create a kind of Zutec asset information model, an AIM. And all of the Zutec kind of BIM data and operation and maintenance manual data residing within the platform as well. So models were sitting in this side, all of the asset data was sitting in the other. And all of the O&M information was going there as well. So in this, Lucas actually went through and did some kind of working things. This is our 3D BIM viewer. And this is him clicking on a couple of cooling towers. Basically, keeping in mind, we did this for the operations team. So we're not a fancy, complicated kind of platform like a Revit or a Navisworks, or unfortunately that Costex solution looked really cool, but I guess you have to be a QS in order to kind of use it. Our mentality of why we created our BIM viewer was to actually get the guy on the ground to use it on a daily basis. So we have a really simple to use interface, pretty much a couple of clicks and they can pull up asset information very quickly. So this is Lucas actually demoing from start to finish from a maintenance perspective how that solution is working. So they had a tool set that they could use on a daily basis. What the center management team feedback from them was when they generally were handed over things in the past, they would then have to still go and pay an external consultant to go and do a survey to let them know the information that resided behind a wall or whatever. But now in this 3D world and having this 3D interface that was easy to use, they were able to access that data a lot easier. So taking another example, so bollards seem to be run over a lot at Westfield. So again, Lucas in this was demonstrating how easy it was to pull up its product literature to find out who the manufacturer was so that they could go and order another part very quickly and easily. And how easy it is to use within the model viewer. And I think this last one, talking about the facade pieces, I think, screens and louvers, there you go, it was his slide. Again, it's being able, building up, so all of this information was built up within the platform throughout construction, then being able to go back to the supply chain and say, you're missing this information, that's not good enough, etc. While it's still in construction, if you try and do that retrospectively afterwards, it's never going to happen. Everyone's kind of, their retention's been paid, that contract is gone. So within the construction period is where you can influence the most. Obviously building up all of this information, again, keeping who in mind the client is, it's the center management team who has to use and access this information on a daily basis. So it's about streamlining it and making it as easy as possible for that to happen. Again, another kind of snippet video of accessing information. Just skip on. So I guess summary of benefits again, this was Lucas's slide again. Basically, what the system's promoting: quicker access to information, enhanced knowledge of the built asset, reduction in existing condition surveys, as I mentioned. They were spending a lot of money on getting condition surveys and things done in the 3D world. They were able to do that a lot easier. Faster reaction time in emergencies. I guess, and then this was Lucas's question to all. I guess everyone wants to know when it comes to the BIM world, what is the return on investment? And interestingly enough, it's not established yet. This project it's nearing completion. It's about to be handed over fully to centre management. So this was Westfield's design and construction team's kind of view. We're going to be working more closely with them to kind of try and understand what is the ROI of spending all of this money on the BIM models, etc. From the asset data perspective, and our system and things, obviously that had a cost to it, but it's really the cost over the operations period. So what are the next steps in Unibel Redemco Westfield's BIM journey? In the short term, continued training on the Zutec, the 3D interface. So obviously a lot of their maintenance teams aren't used to working in the 3D world. We've had a couple of guys training on it, etc., and they found that it's actually really easy to do, but trying to get more and more people on board on it. And obviously putting that out to the supply chain as well. So they have a lot of contracts and things with external mechanical contractors and things like that. So being able to give them access and then for them to utilize the system as well. In the medium term, feedback from the shop floor and development input back to Zutec. It was quite empowering for Lucas, and he would have mentioned this, to kind of, because Zutec is only still, we're a public company now, but we're still relatively small. So we listen to our customers, and a lot of the feedback and a lot of kind of late night, angry emails from Lucas kind of really pushed the platform. But it was good to collaborate with a client like that. And in the long term, potentially for rollout to current and future projects. So across the greater Westfield scheme, Westfield is extending their Westfield Stratford office, Westfield Stratford retail, and they're building 1,320 apartments next to Westfield Stratford as well. And they're also building another Westfield in Croydon. So lots of opportunity in the pipeline for Westfield, and we're hoping that we can continue to be their technology partner into the future. And that's it. Does anyone have any questions at all? Everyone wants a pint? I know I do. No? Thank you.